No one wants to deal with loose skin, but when you're losing a massive amount of weight, sometimes that's just the name of the game. I have lost 125 pounds from my highest weight and counting, and while that is amazing for my general health and wellness, it still comes with its downfalls. I am not ashamed to admit that I am a little vain, a little shallow, we all are, and I do care about my outer appearance as well as my internal health. And so I know I share all of the good things that has happened since losing 125 pounds. Let me show you one of the things that do bother me, that do give me a little bit of body dysmorphia, and that I struggle with sometimes. So in today's video, I'm gonna be chatting with you all about loose skin. Why does it happen? How does it happen? Some things that we can do to maybe minimize it, and give you a little bit of loose skin tour of my own. Plus give you the tea on what's next in my journey as far as plastic surgery is concerned. But first, if you've never seen my face before, hey girl, hey, my name is Janae and I make a lot of content focused on fitness, wellness, and self-development and helping you and I live our best healthy and active lives. So if that sounds like something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following me on TikTok and Instagram. I post a lot of different content over there. Like this video if you are embarking on your own weight loss journey, and comment down below and let me know, do you have loose skin? If you have lost any amount of weight, do you have loose skin? What are your problem areas? Let's support each other in the comments. Now, first, if you haven't watched my most recent weight loss weigh-in, go ahead and check out that video. I'll link it in the cards above. That's where I'm spilling the tea about my weight history, the things that I've done to lose 125 pounds, my current number, my inches, my clothing size, non-scale victories, before and after pictures, and my Dexa Scan. So all of that tea is in that video. So how does loose skin even happen? Well, it happens when you lose weight pretty quickly, and a massive amount of weight pretty quickly. And that isn't just specific to people who have weight loss surgery or taken a GLP-1. Even people who have lost their weight naturally, this can happen to them if you lose your weight rapidly. But there are also other things that you have to consider that plays a part into you having loose skin, because just because it's mostly this way from rapid weight loss doesn't mean that's going to apply to everyone. And there are other contributing factors. So something else you also have to consider is how long has that skin been stretched out for? For me, for instance, I had been overweight for 12 years. I've been carrying that weight in the same parts of the body for 12 years, and it has already been stretched out and held on to that stretch for a long time. Think of your skin like a rubber band. Like our skin has collagen and elasticity in it, just like a rubber band will be, and it pops back into place, right? Well, when you stretch it out for a very long time and hold that position, after a while it starts to give and give and give until it no longer snatches back to exactly where it was at. Does that make sense? Some other things that you may have to consider when it comes to loose skin is how old you are. I'm finding when looking at other people's journeys that the younger they are, early 20s, mid 20s, the less loose skin they have compared to me, who is in their mid 30s. And I have a ton of loose skin. So age can be a factor, genetics can be a factor, your body shape can be a factor. When it comes to your body shape, do you even know what your body shape and body type is? Now, we all may have heard this term flown around: pear shape, hourglass, inverted triangle, apple shape. Knowing what your body shape is will kind of give you a little bit of insight of how your body is going to be carrying weight, thus how you're going to carry that loose skin. So for example, we all know people who are genetically small, like they can eat anything and will never gain weight. We also know some people who are very shapely, like they have smaller tops but bigger bottoms, or bigger tops but smaller bottoms. Like sometimes it just comes down to genetics. Well, the same thing with your body shape. So for me, for example, I am an inverted triangle. So my shoulders stick out further than my hips do, and I am naturally bigger on top than I am on the bottom. So when it comes to my access weight, that's exactly how I carried it. Now, I was almost 300 pounds, so of course my lower half was big, but my top half was even bigger. And even when I look at pictures of me from when I was a child, late teens, you can still see that shape is there. My shoulders is sticking further out than my hips are. I'm more broader on top. I'm top heavy. So when it came down to me losing weight and thus having loose skin, that same trend carried on. When I look at my lower half in comparison to my top half, I barely have any loose skin in my lower half. I know a lot of people deal with the inner thigh loose skin or the cellulite in the outer thigh loose skin. That's not a thing for me. I actually like my legs. My legs are my favorite part of my body. I carried it all in my upper half. So I'm still very shoulder dominant, but when it comes to my arms was the size of someone's thigh. That's how big my arms were. Now, as far as my chest, I wouldn't say my chest was really big as far as the size in comparison to other women that I may know. So at my heaviest weight, I probably was like a 48 double D. Some women are triple Ds, E's, F, G, you know, it's a whole alphabet. But I also still carried my weight in my upper back and in my mid back and a lot in my stomach. And the stomach fat is not just subcutaneous fat that you lose with other parts of your body. That was visceral fat, which is the fat that is surrounding your organs and is quite dangerous when it comes to your health. So as I lost weight, my top half actually was going down a lot slower, specifically my arms, in comparison to the rest of my body. And now, even after losing 125 pounds, my arms and my stomach, to me, are still quite big for me to be 162 pounds. I still carry not only a lot of loose skin, but a lot of body fat. And I know this because I get a Dexa scan done with Body Spec every month. And the scan breaks down my entire body, every limb, my torso, everything, and lets me know exactly where I'm carrying the body fat, the lean muscle, like what is it made of, what my visceral fat number is. And that's how I know, yes, this is loose skin, but also this is still fat that could be burned. And I still do have a pretty high body fat percentage, so that's also something that I can work on. Now, what your numbers look like, you can always save $10 off of your scan using code Janae10. I'll leave everything in the description box below for y'all. Something else that you need to consider is how many times you have gained and lost that weight. Now, I have lost 60 pounds at least 3 times throughout my journey. Nothing in comparison to my 125 pounds lost, but even in between the 60 pounds that I had lost 20 there, 40 there. That consistent up and down, stretching and then coming back and then stretching and then going smaller and stretch. That tends to weigh on the body as well and the skin when it comes to its elasticity. Something us girlies definitely have to consider is pregnancy. Now, we all know the effects that pregnancy has. You gain some weight, your breasts will get bigger. When you're done with breastfeeding, that will shrivel up sometimes. It may not look the same. It's the same thing when it comes to your entire body. That rapid stretch and then now it's deflating. It's the same idea when it comes to the rest of your body. And I've also been pregnant twice and I've also had 2 C-sections. So that contributes to the shape of my belly and me having an apron belly as well. And that's specific to the lower half of my belly and the loose skin that's sitting there. Now, how can you prevent loose skin? I mean, the most obvious way is not to be obese. Like, that is the most obvious way, but we're all already here if you're watching this video. Now, I haven't personally tried these things. These are just things that I've heard throughout the years, but I knew that at the end of the day, I was going to have loose skin. So me doing these little remedies probably wasn't going to make a big difference. But some people say to dry brush, that helps with loose skin. Drinking collagen can also help with building collagen within the body and helping with your loose skin. There's different oils and all of these different things on the market, but the most important thing that you can honestly do is strength train. And even with strength training, you possibly still will end up having loose skin or lose your weight slower. But even still, you may still have loose skin because you are also coming from a massive amount of weight. So my advice to anyone who is embarking on a weight loss journey, especially if you have a massive amount of weight to lose, is start strength training as soon as possible. One, you want to be as lean as possible and build that muscle mass, but two, that will also help change up the dynamics of your body and essentially change the overall look and physique of your body as you are gaining muscle and getting leaner. Especially if you are someone who probably won't ever be able to afford loose skin removal or just can't afford it right away, then the best thing you can do is try to do things early on to help minimize your loose skin or at least change the look of what your loose skin will be. It's kind of hard to predict how much, where, and what it will look like, but that's just something that you can try to do early on. Plus, strength training is good for you, period. Okay, so let's just jump right into my loose skin tour. So starting with my face, some women do deal with the loose skin around their cheeks or under their chin. I don't necessarily deal with that. I mean, I see that I have just a little bit of fat that sits right here, but to me, it's not really loose skin. And this is also something that does not bother me at all. I mean, sometimes I do notice it in videos or with like taking pictures, but it's not something that actually bothers me. Something else that's completely different from loose skin, but something else that I do suffer from is PCOS, specifically my facial hair. And so that has also gotten better as I lost weight. So if you want me to do a video talking about facial hair and PCOS and weight loss and how that has helped my symptoms, let me know in the comments below. See, and as you can see, my neck, it just snaps right back. So I don't deal with loose skin in my face or my neck area. Okay, so moving on to my upper body and my chest. As you can see already, I am spilling out over here on the sides. And obviously I'm not gonna show you my chest, but I do have like a ton of loose skin on my chest. This is just a really good sports bra. You can see the tops of my shoulders and my back in a sports bra, and I will show you what it looks like without it here shortly. So here is a view of my back, my arms up and down. As you can see, like I said, I carry a lot of my loose skin on my upper body, so that is including my back. It's actually come down quite a bit though from my starting point. And let me pull down my pants and fully see. I really don't have like a lot on the lower side. It's really like my mid to upper. These were like, there were at least 3 rows here. And now I think I'm down to like 1.5. And so now you can get a clear view of what my arms is looking like up and down. And now you can really tell how much of the loose skin and all of the excess weight that I was carrying on my upper body in comparison to my lower half. See, if I get an upper back lift, you see how snatched my little waist would be? All of this would be gone and it would be pulled all in together. So when it comes to plastics, this is something that I would be considering as well. And a 360 lift, body lift, lower body lift would pull all of that together. Let's focus on the arms, which is my problem area. So these are my arms after losing 125 pounds. As you can see, I carry a lot, honestly, the bulk of my loose skin in my arms. Look at that jiggle, look at that jiggle. This is the back view. Here you can see it from the side and from the other side and from the front. And so all of this, if all of this was gone, my arm would be so much skinnier. See, this is all just loose skin. And honestly, a lot of fat is still within this. I have built a good amount of muscle, but still, even with me flexing, you can see my loose skin. And they are quite heavy. And I feel it especially when I'm running, because I am a long distance runner, and so I feel it a lot. And you see it extends all the way down to my sides and under my armpit. Speaking of armpit, I don't really have a lot of loose skin here. Some women do. Some women, I've seen some loose skin tours and they have it here, but I don't. I still have, my armpits are caved in pretty much. And since I'm showing y'all my skin, let's quickly chat about skin discoloration, especially as a Black woman. Something that people would often recognize and realize that they have pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes is the discoloration when it comes to the creases of your body. And so my skin has evened out quite well. I definitely was a lot darker in the neck and in the back of my neck. I was a lot darker in my armpits. That has since lightened up naturally on its own without me using any soap or any scrubs or anything like that. Same thing when it comes to my knuckles, my elbows have lightened on its own. It was a lot darker. Okay, so moving down to my stomach. Here is the full shot of my belly. My belly actually really doesn't look that bad. I can honestly tuck it away in my leggings and be just fine. But as you can see, I don't really carry a lot of weight up here on the top part. So I don't think I would need that plastic surgery or that tummy tuck that like goes down like this, because even when I do like this, like there's not a lot, it doesn't go in. So I don't think I would need that. And like I said, I did have 2 C-sections. So I do have this apron belly that sits here, my little love handles that really actually extend to my backside. And I actually had quite a few rolls in the beginning of my journey. So this has come down quite a bit. Here is the side view, and you can really see my little chubs from the side. And like I said, my abdomen really carried a lot of the weight. So I was like beer bellying it when I wasn't pregnant for a lot of my journey. You can see the rolls from the back. This is pretty snatched up. It's just the sides. And I'm not holding it in, I'm not sucking it in or anything like that. This is just what it looks like, what it's given. So let's move down to my legs. Like I said, my legs are honestly the best part of my body. Like I barely have any loose skin in my legs. And if I were to get a lower body lift, then the little bit of skin that I have here on the outside will get pulled right on up. As you can see, it will get pulled right on up with a 360 lower body lift. That would change the outside appearance of my outer thighs and a little bit of the front side. But a lower body lift doesn't really do anything for the insides of your thighs. You would have to get a thigh lift for that. Now I do have some loose skin. As you can see, it's jiggling, it's there. It's just not bad enough for me to want to get done. This may be a better shot. Like as you can see, it's there. And this is just one final view of my body after losing 125 pounds. Now that you've seen all of my loose skin, let's talk about what's next and my thoughts on plastic surgery. So of course, my arms would be the first thing that I would do. And if it was the only procedure that I could afford, that would be the one. Like I said, I can tuck everything else away, but as a woman wearing dresses, wearing shirts, wearing different things, like I want these arms to be snatched. So that would be the first thing to go. So I would do my arms, which is called a brachioplasty, and a 360 lift. And the 360 lift is when they're cutting you circularly, which is all the way around, essentially pulling your lower half up and your top half down and cutting everything that's in between. So it would do my tummy tuck, my love handles, and any back fat that I would have. Now, like I said, I don't think I would need the fleur de lis, something like that. The tummy tuck that goes up and down, I don't think that I would need that. But again, I would sit with a surgeon, talk to him about it and see what they would recommend. Now, I would also do my upper back. I would get a upper back lift, or they call it the bra strap lift as well, because that's where they leave the incision at. I would get rid of the rolls and the excess weight and loose skin that I have there, because that's also a problem area, because like I mentioned earlier, that's where I carry my weight. The last thing that would be on my list is a breast lift with or without implants. I'm really not fond of the idea of implants. I would definitely just do a lift, but we'll see. It's like one of the things that's furthest on my list. And then again, the thighs, like that would just be me searching for perfection. I really don't need to touch my thighs. So that's something that like, okay, maybe, but like not really. And I'm also not interested in getting a BBL. I would rather just grow my glutes in the gym. So that's not something that I'm interested in. And yeah, besides that, I wouldn't do anything else. I wouldn't get anything tightened on my face. I don't feel like I need to touch my face at all, even with the little bit I have right here. Like, I would just leave that alone. So with all that being said, that's still pretty expensive. I know some people have gone down to Mexico. There's like a couple of places that I did look at down in Mexico that a few of my friends have gone to that have had tremendous results. I'm still like weighing out all my options, because whether I get it done at my dream clinic or in Mexico, it's still a big investment to do. And another reason why I am not interested in getting my plastic surgery done, at least at the moment, is because of my body fat percentage, which is what I talked about a little bit earlier in the video, according to my Dexa Scan. Now, touching back on visceral fat, which is the fat that I do have in my abdomen, it's not subcutaneous fat, it's all pretty much visceral fat. The only way to get rid of visceral fat is through diet and exercise. And I mean, not to be shady or anything, I don't want to look like a big inhale. Like, I don't want to be rushing to get a tummy tuck or a 360 lift and then not have like the most snatched result, because I didn't be a little bit more patient and put in the work on my dieting and my exercising to cut that fat as much as I can. So that is something that I'm really focused on. I'm about 20 pounds away from my goal weight, and I'm not necessarily like shooting for a number. I'm really focused on cutting that body fat percentage, because if you watch my weigh-in video, then you will know that I'm about 32% body fat. That's still a lot. That actually still leaves me at obese or overweight, one or the other. But it's still a lot. And so I really want to cut that down to about 25%. And most of that body fat will most likely be from my arms, from my upper body, and from my stomach. And even with my Dexa Scan, it tells me my limb results, and it tells me how much fat and how much muscle I have there. So again, with my brachioplasty and my arms and it being one of my biggest insecurities, I will want the most snatched results. And so if I can do what I can to build as much muscle as I can, to cut as much body fat percentage as I can, so that when I do make this investment, okay, to pay for plastic surgery, that I will be happy with the results. And I know that plastic surgery is not going to make my body perfect, but if there's something that I can do on my part and exercise a little bit of patience, I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be worth the wait for me. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon. That way you're notified every single time I post a new video. Make sure you're following me on TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok, I'm always hosting lives and answering your questions in the moment. And on Instagram, I'm super active in my stories. I do have a broadcast channel. They end up knowing the tea first, so make sure you're following me over there. Comment down below and let me know if you have any further questions, anything that you want me to clear up. If you need me to do a part 2 to this video, I can do that for you. If there's anything else that needs to be said, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.